And I'm like, man, why is nothing selling? This is crazy. All right, y'all, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the Commonwealth Cab. We are going to do something we don't ever do, which is start right with the topic. And there is a definite reason why we're going to do that. We are going to get into a few sales, and I mean a few sales. We have not had many sales at all. And I'll tell you what, I've been doing this a long time. So it happens from time to time. And you're like, what's going on? How come I'm not making any sales? But let me tell you, this drought for me was getting me a little bit nervous. And then I watched a video from one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. And he even made me more nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness. Am I going to have to go back to teaching? Which, you know, I love teaching, but I don't really want to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and go teach a bunch of high school students anymore. I'd rather work in a shed in my backyard. So I want to talk about this topic today. We're going to get right into it right off the bat. Let's go take a look. Let me give you a little bit of context first. I know that Wallen just jumped out and scared me a little bit. Looks like he has something to chew on over there. You distracted me from getting right to the topic. What do you got? That's a SupplyHut tape ring. There you go, Charlie. So if y'all want some cheap dog toys, go to SupplyHut.com. Code Commonwealth, you can get cheap dog toys, 5% off. I don't normally talk about what a typical day looks like for me, but I get up earlier than my family and I get in a little bit of work. It's mostly YouTube work and listing on eBay. So the only thing I do for eBay in the morning is list, and I try to get some listings up. I'm usually editing a video, putting up a video, doing a thumbnail, something like that, taking care of emails, putting out fires, you know, that typical kind of stuff. But one of the things I do after my family gets up a little bit later in the day, I start planning out the flipper video and, of course, figuring out, okay, how much time am I going to need to ship and all that stuff, and then coordinating a bunch of stuff for what I'm doing right now. So one step in that process for me is I storyboard these videos. And I look at what's sold and I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk about these first. And then I'm going to put Turner in here and he's going to talk about this sale. And then Reagan's going to come. And I storyboard it all. And I'm looking and I'm like, I have 4 sales. I have sold 4 things in the last like 30 hours. I'm like, how am I going to do a video of 4 items like doing an NC Flipper video, you know, 4 sales. And I'm like, man, why is nothing selling? This is crazy. And so I start doing all the things that I typically do to get some sales, which is, you know, I'll send out some offers or whatever. We've been listing like crazy and nothing's selling. I'm like, what is going on? And then to kind of top it off, I come down here a little bit later because I'm sending out, I was doing a charity thing for a different channel and we're sending that out, and I was sending something out to a viewer as a thank you and a few other little odds and ends types of things. Plus Reagan's gone, so I was shipping out the merch from CommonwealthPicker.com. She typically does that, but she's away at a meet. And I start watching one of my favorite YouTubers. I start watching Pete, Craigslist Hunter, who I've watched longer than anybody on YouTube, and he has this video out here. And by the time you see this video, it'll be, man, I thought that was 2 days ago, but whatever. What happens when inflation is nearly 100%? So crazy. And I'm like, what is this? What kind of title is that? At any rate, he starts talking about how much stuff is coming into the store. He's like, we're buying so much stuff. People are hurting right now, you know, whatever it is. Maybe they spent too much at Christmas. Maybe, shoot, I don't know, all the inflation. They're talking about people's housing estimates, appraisals going up so that their property tax is higher, so their mortgage payment every month is higher, and that certainly is for us. Our payments going up because they reassessed our home. So if you've never watched his channel, he essentially, it's not a pawn shop, he essentially has a trading post, and people come in and sell him, you know, sell their stuff to him, and he's got a pretty good sense of what's going on because he can see people are coming in way more. And he started talking about his numbers, how much he sold this February, or excuse me, how much he's bought from people this February compared to last February. He's halfway through the month of February. He's already bought as much this February as he has all of last February combined. So double, basically, what he bought last time. And he sees there's tons and tons of people coming in. Not as many people buying, but a lot of people selling. And I started to think, you know, maybe people are just getting a little wary right now and they don't want to spend their money on stuff. And maybe that's why people aren't buying so much from me and my eBay store. So I started kind of fretting a little bit, looking at my numbers, and I'm like, man, this is like one of the worst weeks we've had in a long time. I had one of the worst days. I had 2 items sell yesterday, 2. I'm like, man, when does that happen? It doesn't happen ever hardly for years, but it really, really slowed. And then, you know, when people come to me with those kind of questions, I almost always say the same thing. I always say, hey, it's cyclical. Things like this happen, and I'm like, I got to take my own advice here. I got to calm down. I don't have to go try and get my old teaching job back quite yet. If I just wait it out and keep listing, and we've been listing, that's the one thing that kind of threw me off. We've been listing more than we have in a long time, and I've been listing more than I have in a long time. So there were days for the last few weeks, you know, where I would get in 10 to 15 listings before I really started doing much of anything. There's really 2 things that I want to talk about here for a second. First is, what do you do when this happens? And so there's all kinds of different strategies. There's lots of things you could do. You could start sending offers. You could start putting your store on clearance, you know, and I actually did that too yesterday. I do it often, actually. Take items that have been in the store a year or something, you know, put them on 25% off, whatever it is, and redo a few listings, list more items. You know, there's other things people like, all right, is it time for me to start cross-posting? And, you know, can I get on different platforms? Maybe I need to sell something different. You know, there's all kinds of things. And I think that's a good thing, to be kind of self-reflective a little bit into how you do things, and maybe re-strategize how you're going to go about this reselling business. But another way to think about it is, you've got time now. You're not shipping out a bunch of stuff, where you can list more, where you can reorganize. You can do something that you haven't been doing for a long time. You can attack a certain part of your death pile that you just don't want to list. You know it sells, but you hate it. And you could do those type of things. You could even kind of clear out stuff that you just want to get rid of. Put it out there on auction, maybe even. You're not going to make as much money, but at least it's gone. At least there's activity in your store, and at least some money's coming in. But I think one thing that a lot of people get trapped in, and I almost got trapped in it myself the other day, actually earlier today and yesterday, is kind of giving up and fretting a little bit. And I know a lot of people do that. But you know what? When times get tough, you just got to push through it. And if nothing else, attack that death pile. The other thing you can do is play with your coworkers, huh? That's right. Waste your time doing that. The other thing it got me thinking about here when I was watching the show is, because he was talking about buying. He wasn't necessarily slowing down the buying. He was ramping up the buying. And so when things get tough, if you have a little bit of money setting aside, you can capitalize on it, because people will want to sell. And so it got me started to think about the opportunities coming up here in the spring. Because when people need money, this used to be me, y'all. I've told you before, I was a teacher. I didn't make much money. If we wanted to go on vacation, you know, if we wanted a little extra spending money, I mean, I was literally checking the couch cushions. We would empty out the change jars. You know, we would start selling personal items on eBay. We'd list like crazy. When people need some extra money just to get through the end of the month, waiting for their tax refund check to come in or something, you know, you do what you have to do. And so people sometimes will look around their house and say, this is worth some money, this is worth some money, and they'll try to sell it. They might sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So there's some opportunities out there to buy coming up if things get a little rough. And I think it's kind of odd right now, if you look at the economy and how things are going. It's perfectly wonderful for some people, and some people are struggling. And so there's kind of an ebb and a flow to it. But it's always good to have a little bit of money put aside that you just save for those opportunity buys when they come up. And that got me thinking about that as well. Is eBay broken? Probably not. I've had sales today, so we're up to 11 sales for $349.41. Now that's 2 days, so not particularly good, but you know what? It's a heck of a lot better than it was when I was storyboarding this video earlier. We're going to have a lot more sales than the 4 or 5 that I thought we were going to have. So I'm going to show you a few sales, and the heater's got to come on. It's been a little chilly in here, but I also don't want to forget something. So I'm going to give a half-hearted announcement right now. Might even put my QR code up right here, or you could just go over to CommonwealthPicker.com. We do have some new merch, and we did something that I kind of hinted at not too long ago, and we brought an item back. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just tell you right now. Normally I have Reagan announce this stuff, but she's gone, so here's what we've done here. Normally we buy these like once a year now, and we're doing it in the spring, right before spring hits, so people have them at garage sales. And so we have 100 of these. Last time they were gone in, it was like 36 hours. They were all 100 of them were gone. Now, we got 50 of these last time, and they were gone in less time than that. And so people are still asking me where to get them, where to get them, where to get them. And I'm like, well, we only did 50, and it was a limited one-time only deal. And I just got tired of answering the emails. So we decided we were going to do these special ones once a quarter. And so the Ultimate Enema Man, we got 50 of them, and they sold super quick. And we were going to wait till the second quarter, which would be January, February, March, April 1st, and we were going to have a second one. Well, I decided that instead of doing 50 each time because they sold so quick and then I'd have to answer emails forever, we're going to do 100 each time. So I did get 50 more of these, and when those are gone, they're gone. And then we'll do a different one in April, and then every quarter we'll put a different one out there. We called them booster shots. Enema Man booster shots. So that's what I needed, right? These came in today, so maybe that's why my store started moving. You know, you should always have one of those around. That's what I should have done, is come in here and rubbed it in, man. That would have solved it for sure. Haven't been digging in here in a while. Buzzer, Dreadnought. Y'all remember the Dreadnoughts? That one sold for $25.20. That one sold because of an offer, because I was getting nervous. I'm like, I'm sending out offers here. Let's see if we can get some sales. And that came in on an offer sale. The next one we have to put together here, I dug this one out, the Shark. This one went with this one right here. That Shark Diver, Deep Six. That guy's from Baltimore, Maryland. I always like reading those. Very cool. And that G.I. Joe is headed out of here for $49.95 for those right there. So we'll put that on our total, but I have one more G.I. Joe sale. Hey, I'm going to slip this into the video. This is after the video, but it's going to come right now because I forgot to say it when I was recording the first time we started. This is a thank you for the folks who bought the Shark. We started reselling a little over a year ago and found your YouTube channel while looking for tips on reselling. Well, better you found this than NC Flipper. We love your videos and all the helpful information you provide. Getting a Rolo printer was the best tip. Awesome. I love that, because then you can use my link. Did you use my link? Art and Christina. Thank you. Art and Christina. Our eBay store is Comic Arts Collectibles. Hey, I like that. Thank you very, very much. Look at that. I just had a sale. Just touched the Ultimate Enema Man. And I had a sale, and it's a big one. A $95 sale, but I'm not going to do that one today. I'm going to put that on the next video. Then I was actually watching my buddy Julian over there, Bearded Thrift Machine. By the way, you never sent me a sticker. How come I never got a Bearded Thrift Machine sticker? I just don't think I have. And he was talking about glitches and different things and his sales being down. I'm like, well, maybe it's not me. So I'm just going to keep listing. And sales look like they have bounced back, and we sold this one later in the day as well, which is cool. And it is Crankcase, and this guy right here, and I can't get it out with one hand, so I'll just let you peek at it. There you go. And that sold for $50 too, $49.95. So we're going to total that up, add it to our Real American Hero total. We are getting awfully, awfully close to $3,000. $1,040 all in, $400 purchase, $640 in labor to get through all that massive amount of stuff. This is after fees, after shipping. So we're closing in on a $2,000 profit so far after all expenses. And look, still got that left right there, still got that right there, and I think one or two more somewhere else. Sold a t-shirt from the greatest garage sale ever, the 4K garage sale, Tennessee vintage, single stitch. For those of you who are new, I get tons of questions about this. Check the top and bottom for the stitching. Sometimes it's single stitch and double stitch here, or vice versa. And it is single stitch here, it's single stitch here. It's even, no it isn't, it's double stitch on the pocket. That's interesting. And always check those labels. If you have a good label, put the label title in the listing if you have room. Logotel is not a good one. But it is made in the USA, 100% cotton. Cool on the front. It does have a pocket, which usually isn't necessarily great. But I would, and look, see that down there? This is cool for the front. But I put this picture, I think I did anyways, as the cover picture. It's got a little staining on it, by the way. There you go. Check that worm out down there. And this is the back, but it's the cover picture. So to me, whichever of the hits is better is going to be the cover picture. So that one sold for $30. I think plus shipping. Let me double check, make sure. Nope. Yeah, it is. $30 plus $29 plus shipping. And it is headed out of here to California. I'll take that. Paid a quarter into 30 plus shipping. Sold a Titleist head cover. Not in great condition. Still sold for 15 bucks. Which isn't too bad. One of the things that's sold, a couple different ones actually, are like necessity type items. And of course, if times are tough, people still look on eBay. It's not like eBay doesn't sell because times are tough. It's just what people might buy might shift a little bit. And one thing I always hear people say is, you know, people have necessities. They have things that they need, and those will sell because you can get them cheaper on eBay. And that is the case sometimes. I don't know if this is exactly a necessity, but it's Calphalon. Is that how you pronounce that? That's how I've always said it. Calphalon. Calphalon. I've always said it wrong. There you go. And it's like an oven thing. I don't know what the heck this thing is. Silicone oven mitt pot holder. So it's a pot holder, I guess I don't know. Whatever. $9 it sold for. I don't even know where it came from. So I'll take it. The next things that sold after I sent out that offer are like the very definition of the kind of thing you would think would sell. Some pipe wrenches right here. And I bought these surprisingly cheap, but I did not clean them or anything like that. I just listed them as is. They took a long time to sell. I'm probably into these less, I would say 8 bucks is my guess. $2 a piece, I think, is what we paid. And they sold for 40 plus shipping, and I can barely put them down. I'm gonna drop it on something. How about we put it right here? That was too much to handle with one hand. I was gonna break it on this thing. So 40 bucks, you know, uncleaned. I'm gonna have my boy Leroy up here in May, and he's gonna tell me what I should have done to maybe get a little bit more money out of these guys right here. But that's a heck of a deal. You know, they're all in okay condition, certainly working. You tool people out there, tell me how much it would cost to buy that in a store. I know it wouldn't be 40 bucks. That'd probably be 40 bucks. Crazy. But y'all, I even started taking offers, Turner. I started taking offers. I was so worried we weren't going to sell anything ever again on eBay. Somebody sent me an offer and we grabbed it. So this one, I think it's like 25 bucks or so for that, which we bought that. Do you remember buying that with me? No. You don't remember remember when the girls wanted to shop down in Myrtle Beach and we're like, we don't like to shop so much, remember? And we went into the Disney store instead and we bought this, and look, we bought all those up there. Do you remember buying all those? I do remember. You do remember? I do, yeah. And so we were trying to make enough money to pay for the stuff, all this stuff that the girls were buying. And I think we will once we sell all these. We've only sold, I think, 3 things so far. But we're going to make a little money. And since I took an offer on that one, we're only going to make about 8 bucks. But, hey, we got a sale. And it's Easter time coming up. Who is that?
Stitch.
It's Stitch. Yeah. Check this aggressive tag out, by the way. These tags are getting ridiculous. Anyway, definitely enough for you to do what?
Save $1, spend $1, and $30. Bye.
Since we didn't sell as much, I got a little extra time, so I thought I'd open a package. Carol, thank you. These are some vintage Safeway bags. I bet there's a market for these out there. And then some pins, Pacific Bell Northwest. 10 years, 20 years, 10, 20, and 10 again. And a brooch. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so, so much. And she said we're welcome to keep them, sell them, do whatever. So we'll look them up and see what we can get. I really appreciate it. Like I said, y'all, I have a little extra time today because we didn't sell so much. So I thought I'd pull something out that I've been enjoying lately. I've never really been a collector of much of anything my whole life. A little bit when I was a kid. Autographs, baseball cards, that kind of stuff. But never much when I was an adult. You know, let's face it, you know, I worked on a teacher's salary for 20 years, and that was the main income coming into our house. Other than reselling, there was my wife didn't work outside the house. We homeschool our kids and all that, you know. We were saving every dime we could just so we could go on vacation and not be in debt, you know. So we never had cable, TV, all kinds of stuff. You know, we lived on very little, very happy, lived on very little, and I didn't collect anything. And now that I have a little bit more money thanks to this channel and YouTube and reselling and just everything that's been a whirlwind to me and my family. I have dabbled in collecting a little bit of VHS, and I spent a little bit of money, which I never do, ever. I'm not NC Flipper. And hopefully one of these things, you know, my wife probably wouldn't get too mad at the other one. She's like, she would say, you spent what on what? So let's not tell her. Anyway, let me show you what I got. I got these from Perry, from Pothead Picker over there on Instagram. I think, Perry, did I see these in the Facebook group, the Trash to Cash Facebook group? By the way, if you haven't joined that, you should go check it out over there if you're on Facebook. And I think that's where I caught up with you, and then we started talking on Instagram, and you left me an eBay store name too, Flips and Giggles. I like that, Flips and Giggles, so go check them out, y'all. This right here, and follow him on Instagram. He's got some great stuff. I was looking through his Instagram the other day. He sent me these for free because I bought this, and that was really, really kind. I think I have one of these, but I have one, and my daughter now has one because she's going to get one. The Harry Potter ones aren't worth a ton. I think there's 3. I used to think there was 1, but I think there's 3 total, 3 different ones. And then I don't have that one and that one as well. These, you know, not high end there, but it was very kind of him to throw those in. So thank you very much. This is the one I wanted. It does have an issue. You can probably see it right here on this sealed VHS. It's actually a very expensive VHS that can go for huge money if the grading is right. The box looks like it's in great shape, and everything looks right on it except for that right there, which is going to ding its value pretty. I don't know exactly how much because I'm no expert, but I'm becoming a little bit more wise on it. So that's going to stay in my collection. All this stuff probably will. You never know. I like to sell some of it too. So thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Now, the next one I'm super excited about. I bought it during the Super Bowl, and that's a strategy it's not a bad strategy, y'all. Check out auctions that end during the Super Bowl. You do pretty good sometimes. So this is one I bought. It's actually a VHS that I already have, and I'm excited to have another one because now I'm going to definitely keep one and definitely sell one. I think I can actually make money off of the one that I bought on eBay, which is, you know, it's not that easy to do, although there's a lot of people out there who make a living. By the way, if you have any VHS you come across a bunch, you know, you're out there in the field or something, you know, a lot of them are absolutely worth nothing. The great majority, 99% of them are worth nothing. 98% of sealed ones are worth nothing, but there are some that are. So if you ever have any questions, send it to me on Instagram or go on the Facebook page or something. I have people that know way more than me that I talk to often in the field, and some pretty high up folks too, and they've been teaching me a little bit. So if it's ever something you're interested in, send me. I'll buy some too. There's a lot that are on my list that I'd like to buy, and I really do appreciate the folks sending me stuff. I've had probably 30 or 40 VHS sealed sent to me. That's very kind of you. A lot of people don't want me to talk about them, some do. So let's check this one out right here. Here it is. I haven't even opened it, y'all. This is it right here. This is the first time I am opening it. Maybe I need to put my stand up. There, that might do better. See if we can get it open here. It is already graded. It's graded by Beckett, which if I sent it in, I probably wouldn't send it into Beckett. But since it was already done, I figured what the heck, right? This was boxed, and then it was boxed again. It was wrapped in bubble wrap, and it's in a case, so it's going to be in pretty good shape here. Oh, there it is. You've seen me talk about this one. I found this one in the wild, not this particular one. Can y'all see that? Let me look at the back of the camera. Yeah, it's got a little glare. Let me hold my camera now. So here it is. Pretty cool. It is a 9 and a seal A- right there. And you see these out, and people are like, oh, I found them, or you're a liar. They don't sell for much. There are 2 that are very, very similar, but this one is not the beige background. This one has the waterfall, Paramount home video, and it has the black back, which this is why I keep this one up here to make this point all the time. That's black back. And it's the rarer of the 2. It's the first of the 2, and it is the most valuable of the 2. And, you know, this is probably, and I'm no expert, so you folks out there, Rod, picking and punching, let me know. I'm thinking this is $800. Should be. If it was listed by it now, that's probably $800, maybe. I don't know. Am I wrong? 1,000? Somebody tell me. VHS DNA, Beckett, and it is super duper cool. So anyway, remember the willow one I got? I could have had that one graded. Who knows what that'd be worth, but still got $1,750 for a VHS, so you can't beat that. There you go. And like I said, the other one just like it is worth next to nothing. So I love it. Tara got one of these, and I normally don't read messages for folks that buy, Anima Men or, stuff out of the merch store. But this one was nice, and Reagan's not here, and it's our only sale going out of here today from CommonwealthPicker.com, so I thought I'd read it. Hello, Kevin, longtime viewer of your channels, Commonwealth Picker, Commonwealth Flipper, and Trash to Cash podcast. Not Garage Sale Nation? So, let's see, they start off reselling just china and glass, but quickly realized that they're pretty long tail and got into selling a bunch of other stuff. She says she's used our American Bubble Boy link to get the bubble wrap. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And used our link to get the Rolo down there in the comments. So always put my QR code up there. If anybody wants to use those links, that's awesome. If you don't, that's fine too. I use other folks' links as well. And so if you have one out there, let me know. Some people have EPN links, eBay store links. Let me know. Send me an email or something with your link, and I'll just kind of put it on my list, and I'll go through and use yours. Doesn't cost me anything, and it makes you a few pennies here and there. So, anyway, to wish you and your family all the best. Give the animals some scratches for us. Tara's Vintage Treasure Shop, eBay. P.S. You should sell on Etsy. It's mostly for handmade goods and vintage antique items. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. I've now had 2 sales come through since we started this video. Both really, really good sales. $150 total in sales right there. This one, Casablanca ornament. It's pretty cool. It's nice to see people still watch those old movies. They're really awesome. That one was, let's see, 1942 film classic Casablanca. Very cool. 1997 ornament, $14.20. And a missed shout out here. This is for that 1983 shirt from, was it a softball shirt, I think is what it was, from Tennessee, which was awesome. Sold for 15 bucks, I think it was. And it was to Flippy Flea Treasures, and a big shout out to Carissa. Carissa, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy that shirt. And I think I just forgot another shout out, and that's to the person who bought that Stitch doll out there. Except for maybe I didn't. Maybe they said not to say. I can't remember. I think it was an Easter present for somebody, and they said they had to hide it or something. So if I missed something, my apologies. Hey, it's a good quick reminder, though. If you have something you want me to say, some shout out or something, put it as a message to the seller as you purchase the item. The messaging system is just so many. That might be why I'm not making sales, because I don't respond to all of the messages, because there are just sometimes hundreds of them. So another thing, if you have a question for me, don't put it in the eBay system unless it relates to a particular eBay item. Much better off going to Instagram if you have it. Facebook, I don't answer anything because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that go through every day. But Instagram's the best bet, or my email, and that's hit or miss too, but Instagram is definitely. So go follow us over there if you haven't already. Appreciate you. Oh, and put it in the comments of a video. I read almost every comment. Not everyone, because sometimes it's too hard to keep up, and I have 3 channels, but I read probably more than most folks think I do, and I respond to a bunch of comments. So thank you all very much, as always, for stopping by. And don't get your head down if your sales are bad. Just figure out how to best allocate your time that you now have, because you're not shipping. Any other hints below from you folks been around for 20 years that sell 10 times more than me? Tell them down below that it happens to you too, and what do you do when it happens. Thanks for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next time.